In the previous few lessons, we've seen a few approaches to what we can do with cross-site scripting, and especially when we include JavaScript in that. So I figured today I want to step that one step up. So I made a simple form that just echoes back what you wrote down here. And so the first thing we want to do is this indeed vulnerable to cross-site scripting? So let's drop in our H1s, and it seems that that it is. So we know we have something to work with, which means at that point we can know we're going to put some JavaScript in. Now the question is, what can we do? First of all, we have to take a look at this page and see what it's laid out like. When I look at these rounded buttons and the fact that they're blue, this means Bootstrap CSS almost certainly. Well, I wrote it, so I know that for a fact to be true. But let's go take a look at the page source and see what we can figure out from there. And indeed, there's a bunch of HTML going on that looks kind of scary, but that's okay. We're not that easily dissuaded. So, bunch of stuff on the top, don't really care about that. And then we see that this is a typical Bootstrap where we have a container that starts here and ends here. It broken down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. The first row seems to contain the Adelphi logo. And then the second row, the sentence, please enter input. The third one is all about the text area, and after that it's echoing back. So let's first see if we can change the logo on the page. And so if we look at this, we see that the logo here is nicely identified for us with an ID of logo. So let's go back and see what we can do with that. Because at that point things become a little easier. Not impossible otherwise, but this makes it easy. So I'm going to locate the image, and I'm going to just ask the document, give me the element with the ID logo, and I'm going to change that to a different one. That's all I have to do. So let me just copy and paste. So this logo was not changed by JavaScript, right? By this data being processed in the browser after it has been submitted. So that's already one thing we can do, but we can go a little more evil. Let's say that we have this sentence hello world here. That's an H1, a header. Now it doesn't have an ID, but that's okay. We can go get elements by tag name, H1. And then the first H1 we found, we're changing the inner HTML to welcome to eCore. eCore. That works for me. And let's see, select all, copy paste, submit query. And look how the page changed from eCore logo and welcome to eCore above here. Now if we want it to be really nasty, all we have to do at that point is go along the lines of form get element by ID. This form was called form 1. You can double check that over here. Our ID is form 1. And we're going to go form.inner HTML. We'll say sorry, something went wrong. Let's go on a new line, and maybe on the next line we continue with please log in again. So let's start with that. Let's see if this works. Select all, copy paste. So something went wrong, please log in again, which is not terribly exciting. What I want is see if I can drive this, let's escape the string, to a website that's under my control, and then hopefully There we go. So now I have a typical error page that says, hey, something went wrong, please log in again. If we click the login link, I didn't put a link on there now, but it would take us back to a web server under my control, which could be identical to the eCorp login page, and at that point I have a nice harvester. I can do plenty other things here, but for now, this is the page as it looks when I get here. By dropping in some JavaScript and then submitting the query, this is what the page will look like to anyone who visits it. So let me take a closer look at that code then, so we can study it a bit more. But it's really not a whole lot of studying. The HTML's open and close scripts on top. First one here is replace the logo with a different logo, just to work on that branding a little bit. So first we go look for the logo in the page, and then we change its source. Next we relabel where it used to say hello world. We have to find the first H1 on the page, and then we change it to welcome to eCorp, or maybe we should go sticking in the lines that we were, make them all nice in caps. And then we go find the form, and we're just going to overwrite everything that was in the form with something went wrong, please log in again. And I could add even an event listener to this, where every time that this form gets submitted, I can do something with that. But for now, we'll go with this. So this can go away. I'll try this again. And here we go. Welcome to eCorp. Please log in again.